Oh, welcome, the love of God to share. As all of us are welcome here. All are welcome in this place.
And welcome to the Kids Table! Last week on the Kids Table, we learned about the importance of Maundy Thursday, and we also shared in a love feast with our very first guest star, Reverend Amy Strader.
Man, that was just so much fun having Pastor Amy here last week, teaching us about the importance of communion and reminding us that we can do it at home too.
I agree, Allie. I think it's so important to have a sense of community, even in these times when we all can't be together.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we learning about this week?
I'm so glad you asked, Allison. This week, we are learning about the resurrection. It is the next event that we talk about in Holy Week.
Wow, the resurrection. I know that's a really important part of our history as Christians, but it's also like a really hard and kind of complicated thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be really great if we had an awesome storyteller to help us explain to the kids.
Man, you just read my mind, Allison. And I think our next guest star will do just that.
Reverend Eric Strader! Hi, Eric, and welcome to the Kids Table.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, we're good.
Great.
So good. So, Eric, you talk about the resurrection story every year. Why is this story so important?
We don't just talk about the resurrection every year. We talk about the resurrection all the time. It is the central story of Christianity. It's the story that reminds us that in the midst of the valleys that are dark, that there is always an opportunity for us to come to the top of the mountain again. It is the central story we tell one another to remind ourselves when times are hard that it's going to get better again.
Wow, thanks, Eric, for making it so clear why we celebrate Jesus' resurrection. Not just every year, but all the time. So, we know you're a pretty good storyteller. We learn that every Sunday. So, would you mind telling us the story of the resurrection so we can understand a little bit better?
Sure, I would love to tell you the story, but let me also say that there are 4 versions of the story in each of the Gospels. We're going to tell it from the Gospel of Matthew's version right now, okay? So Jesus died on a Friday afternoon, and friends quickly placed his body in a tomb. And it was in this kind of rocky hillside that they had carved this tomb out of. And then friends rolled a boulder in front of it, and guards stood outside of it to secure the tomb.
Wait. I feel like this would be better if we could see it, too. Let's imagine what the story would look like.
I don't see it.
It's this way.
Oh, there it is.
On Sunday, when 2 women, one called Mary from Magdalene and the other, Mary the mother, were visiting the tomb, they felt a great earthquake. They saw an angel come and roll away the stone from the entrance of the tomb. The guards were so frightened that they shook and fainted. The angel told the women not to be afraid, that Jesus was not there, for he had risen. This meant that Jesus was alive. The angel told them to go quickly and tell Jesus' friends that he is alive. On their way back, suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Do not be afraid. God will always be with you." And just as Jesus had promised, he rose from the dead on the 3rd day after his death. Christians celebrate Easter Sunday to remember this important event.
Wow, Eric, that was a great story.
Yeah, I've learned a lot at this kids' table already.
So our final question for you, Eric, is it seems like these times in our world are kind of scary, you know? We can't leave our house a lot, we can't even go to school and play with our friends, and we can't even go to church right now. So How do we hold this happiness and this hope that's the Easter story when times are so hard like this?
This is why we tell the story, because we're not people of the first day or the second day. We say we're people of the third day. To never forget that there is hope. No matter how dark the valley seems, no matter how scared we are, there is always hope in the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Well, and there you have it. It may be hard to be happy and have hope in this time.
But there is a way.
Eric, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thanks for having me. It was a ton of fun.
And don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel. Comment below that you watched so we can know that you tuned in. From our table to yours, this is the Kids Table.